Good morning, afternoon, and evening, lovely people. My name is SkyLaaa, and today I will be using a full team of Pokemon based on characters from Gravity Falls. Special thanks to O2Clear for the team idea. If you have an idea for a Pokemon team, be sure to comment below, and I will use it. And if you like this kind of content, feel free to subscribe. Alright, without further ado, let's get right into the battles. So I'm using a Gravity Falls team, and for the record, I should say I'm doing this recording at 3:23 in the morning. So if my narration sounds more scuffed than usual, I blame that. So they're gonna lead off with a Quick Claw, a Quagsire, and this is gonna go for the Toxic versus me. Now, that's a fair play versus Dusclops usually because Dusclops is a very bulky, annoying Pokemon that could just stall, but I'm running an offensive Dusclops this time. So I have max health and max attack on this, with Poltergeist, Shadow Sneak, Ice Punch, and Thunder Punch with the Eviolite as the item. Now this Quagsire is going to go for the Stealth Rock here, set up hazards. I'm going to continuously go for the Poltergeist here. I was thinking, well, if this is like a stalling Quagsire, it's probably going to go for a Recover after this. I'm going to end up putting it in the red. Now, this was an absolute fumble here. So I was thinking, okay, well, they're most likely going to go for the Recover here, so I'm going to swap into my Dipper, aka my Pikachu. I'll talk more about this Pokemon, this character in the next battle, because unfortunately, they went for the Earthquake. I was like, oh my god, what? That was such a disaster, because wow, I absolutely expected them to recover that turn, right? But they just Earthquaked me. Maybe they didn't even have it. That's crazy. Anyway, so into Wendy. Now, problem with this team that I had was that a lot of the characters, I had a hard time thinking about what Pokemon would best fit them, especially Wendy. Like, it was between Cleavor and Haxorus because of the fact that, you know, she's like a lumberjack, but like, I ended up picking Cleavor because it's more fun. So into this Slacking here. Now, Grunkle Sand, I think, is a good fit for this. Now, this is a Choice Banded Slacking. That Arcanine is going to get absolutely demolished by that Earthquake. So I suppose that was like a KO for a KO. So into Gliscor. Oh boy, this Pokemon is absolute hell to deal with. So I have this max defense Clefairy. I'm gonna swap into this. It's gonna end up setting up the Toxic Spikes. Now, it ends up being really annoying, and I had no idea what moves this Gliscor had. I needed to figure out what moves this had, because if it had Protect, then it absolutely foiled my Slacking, because obviously Truant, I can't attack every other turn, so it could always just Protect whenever I had to, you know, click an attacking move, and the Poison now from the Toxic Spike was going to slowly whittle me down. Now on this, I had Calm Mind, Wish, Moonblast, and Protect. Now this Gliscor ended up having Ice Fang, which is interesting, probably for like opposing Gliscor. That's really funny. Now I'm going to continuously set up Calm Mind versus this. I was wondering if this Pokemon could even touch me. Now they're gonna go for another Ice Fang versus me again. I'm gonna end up going for the Wish. I noticed that I was getting pretty low on health, even though I'm just under halfway. So the Gliscor is gonna continuously go for the Ice Fang, and I get frozen. No, that sucks. Damn. So they're not. I still had this max defense Clefairy, which is good. I'm gonna get my Wish up, but damn, I just lost my defensive wall on this team. That's really annoying. Now, I will say, if you enjoy this Pokemon while I'm frozen and this Gliscor goes for U-turn, if you enjoy this Pokemon theme team content, feel free to subscribe. I'm very close to 300 subscribers, and you can help me get there, and I would genuinely really appreciate it, because I love doing these Pokemon theme teams, and I have a lot more coming up. So, this Gengar is going to come in, and I was anticipating like a Poison move. If they went for a Ghost move, then I was honestly screwed, but I ended up finding out that it was Choice Specs Gengar, so they're going to go for the Sludge Bomb on me, thankfully. I called that correctly. So I was thinking, okay, well, I could just Poltergeist here. I don't really have to worry about this Pokemon going for Sludge Bomb again, because then they would get taken out. So the Gliscor is going to come back in here. Now, I was thinking here, okay, well, they revealed their whole moveset. They have Toxic Spikes, Ice Fang, Knockoff, and U-turn. So first of all, they didn't even have Earthquake. That's funny. And second of all, they didn't even have Protect. Now that was really important, because now my Slacking is actually going to be opened up a lot more. So back into my Clefairy, I noticed that this Gliscor really couldn't do much to me, which is interesting. So I was thinking, okay, well, maybe I can use this to thaw out, hopefully, and maybe, you know, be more active, be more of a switch in, even though I don't have my Violet, the Gengar is gonna swap hard into me, and unfortunately I'm still frozen. Now here I went for the Protect, hopefully like to, if I thought out that turn, I would be able to scout out what move that Gengar went for, but it ends up going for the Shadow Ball, and unfortunately I don't ever thaw. Unfortunately for Mabel, damn. So there goes my Clefairy. But now I have this opening here because I had this slacking, so I was thinking, okay, well they just locked themselves into Shadow Ball. There's no way they're gonna stay in because I just revealed Earthquake. So on this turn, I made a prediction. I went for the Facade. I have this Choice Banded Facade, and I'm poisoned, and it's just gonna do so much damage, and I'm gonna take out that Gliscor one hit. That was really good. So this had a Facade, Double Edge, Earthquake, and Knockoff with Paranormal. So it was just gonna hit super hard. Now, speaking of Pokemon that can hit hard, here's an Inteleon, and it's gonna Terrasilize into Terra Water. Now, I didn't have much switch-ins versus this Pokemon, admittedly. Like, I didn't really want to... had to sacrifice my slacking, essentially, because, interestingly, I outsped it. My Truant went first, but I knew that this Pokemon wasn't really going to do much versus the last Pokemon they had on their team, so there goes my slacking, but that's fine. I could probably weaken this. This Inteleon was actually a really annoying threat. I had to weaken it with my Wendy. Now, this is a Choice Scarf Cleavor. I have Sharpness as my ability. I have X-Scissor, Night Slash, and Stone Axe, which all make use of the Sharpness ability, and I have U-Turn as my last move. Now, X-Scissor is unfortunately just barely going to miss out on the kill, and they're going to opt to Snipe Shot, and yeah, that's absolutely going to deluge me. So, there goes Wendy, but I put this Pokemon in range so that my Shadow Sneak from my Bill Cipher can take it out. I thought that Bill Cipher was like an okay fit, just because of the fact that, first of all, he has one eye, and obviously I only could use Pokemon with one eye, otherwise that wouldn't make really much sense in my opinion. And second of all, it's, you know, it's kind of triangular shaped in a way, like the way the top of Dusclops' head is relative to like the bottom of his body. I don't know. So I'm going to live the poison damage just barely. Now, the Gengar is going to swap back in, so I was like, I anticipate this thing to want to go for Sludge Bomb here, just because of the last Pokemon that I had being a normal type, so I'm going to Shadow Sneak, and they ended up going for the Shadow Ball, so damn, that's really interesting that they did that. I also had Terra Normal on this Pokemon, and I was genuinely thinking about going for the Terra Normal on that turn, but the problem was that their last Pokemon was a fighting type, and like my Seuss, which is, by the way, a really good fit for Greedent in my opinion, especially with the teeth and the way this unit is built, so I don't know, like, I didn't want to be in a bad matchup versus this Hitmonchan, because a close combat from this Pokemon would easily, like, blow me away. Now, this was my favorite set on this team. This was a special Greedent. Now, this Greedent had Stuffed Cheeks with the Pitaya Berry, and it's going to actually also activate my Cheek Pouch. And I have Body Press, because of the +2 defense that it gives, and I have Terra Blast with, Terra Fire on this, so I had Terra Fire, Terra Blast. Also, Terra Blast could work even without Terra just because it's a normal type move. And I have Belch. So the Hitmonchan ends up going for the Mach Punch. I was like, damn, it probably doesn't have close combat. The Body Press, it looks like a 3-hit KO. I was like, oh no, that sucks because I'm going to take more poison damage. So the Hitmonchan is going to go for the Thunder Punch here. I'm going to go for the Body Press. And thankfully, I get max damage. So it was like a 49 into 51. You know, that's how Pokemon rolls always work. Now, unfortunately, I took too much poison damage because of the 2-hit KO on the Hitmonchan. So now Gengar is going to come in, and it's going to go for the Sludge Bomb versus me, and that's just going to be enough to take me out, unfortunately. But damn, it was a really close game. Like, I think, in hindsight, I probably should have Terra Normal my Dusclops, but it was such a hard call to make. But it's still a good battle either way. Now, this second battle was also really cool, and also got to showcase a lot of Pokemon that you hardly ever really see. So, I had this Pikachu, which in theory was a good matchup versus Palafin, but if this was Choice Banded, my Pikachu was actually just gonna fold to a Jet Punch, so I ended up swapping out into my defensive Clefairy here. Now, regarding that Pikachu, Dipper was also a character that I really had a hard time choosing a Pokemon for. I was tossed between, like, Cat Pikachu, Teddiursa, and, like, Shiny Snover because of the Pine Tree thing. But I ended up going for the Cat Pikachu, but obviously I don't know, like, if you have a better idea, just let me know. Anyway, so this Pikachu is going to absolutely destroy this Alolan Golem with the Grass Knot. So that's great. It ended up not having sturdy, which is interesting. So it was probably like a galvanized set. Now, the Executor is going to come in here. Now, I had no idea what this Pokemon was going to do. I couldn't really touch it with my Pikachu set either. So I'm going to swap out back into my Clefairy on this turn. Now, I actually am going to speed up this part of the battle because it ended up being a very, very, very heinous Executor. So it's going to have this block ingrained set. So I was thinking, okay, I'm just gonna set up Calm Minds versus this Pokemon, but it ended up also having Calm Mind as well. So essentially, this became a war of attrition between us both going for Calm Minds, trying to go for +6. But then the inner demons were talking in my head, and I was thinking like, this thing has Psyshock. It's going to absolutely blow you away. So that's why I ended up going for the Moonblast. You know, going for the special attack drops. In hindsight, I definitely should have went for the +6 Calm Minds and maybe like mitigated the Giga Drain damage, but unfortunately, I just didn't do that. I was just that scared of Psyshock. And I also did notice that it didn't have a Citrus Berry. Now, the Executor is gonna take me out with the Giga Drain there, but I don't think I would have won that matchup anyway, just because of the fact that it was still probably gonna do a lot of damage, even if even if we were matched. Either way, Executor does have a lot of special attack. Now, the funny thing here is that since it had Ingrain, it was actually locked in and it couldn't switch out. Now, I was expecting a Terra potentially, but they're not going to Terra, and I'm going to take it out with the U-turn 4 times effective. Absolutely just obliterated the tree. So there goes that Executor, thankfully. That was actually such an annoying Pokemon. It was probably max defense. So back into my Dusclops I go. I was thinking, well, I really... that Palafin in the back is going to be absolutely annoying to deal with. Then comes Toucannon, the bisexual bird. You never really see this Pokemon used at all, so I was wondering, like, what is this going to do? I swapped out because I didn't want to go for the Thunder Punch or, like, the Ice Punch versus, like, a potential Beak Blast because then I would be burned. So, yeah, I didn't really know what this Pokemon was going to be because it could be, like, a lot of different stuff, right? I think this Pokemon can get Boom Burst, and it could get like Hurricane and Heat Wave, but it ends up being a Bullet Seed, most likely Skill Link set, so it's gonna Bullet Seed. That's actually interesting. They Bullet Seeded my Dusclops. That would have been a super resist. Now, they're gonna continuously go for the Bullet Seed here. I was thinking, okay, well, it just did under half, so my Cheek Pouch should activate here, and my Pitaya Berry should activate, which ergo should allow my Cheek Pouch to activate and heal me out of range of this Pokemon KOing me. So Cheek Pouch is going to heal me back up over half, but the next Bullet Seed is going to hit, and then there's the 5th Bullet Seed. So I was thinking, it's going to be very close whether or not I live the next Bullet Seed. I'm going to go for that Terra Blast +1 special attack. It does a lot of damage versus Toucannon. Now, the Bullet Seed is going to come out again from the Skilling Toucannon. I was like, okay, I might be able to live this badly, and I'll be able to win the 1v1 and take it out with the special Terra Blast. So in comes the 4th Bullet Seed, and then here comes the 5th Bullet Seed, and I live on 3 health. That's great. So now I'm able to take out the Toucannon with the Terra Blast. It's really cool seeing Toucannon being used. This is such an underrated Pokemon. I mean, it's bad, but it's super underrated in my opinion. Cause, you know, it's based on a Toucannon. So into this Demon, yeah, I had absolutely no switches to this, and obviously I wasn't gonna keep my 3 HP greeted alive because it's so slow. So it's gonna take me out with the flip turns here. So I was thinking, I wonder what they're gonna swap into this now. So they actually end up going for the Dusknoir. So it was cool. It's Dusclops and Dusknoir in this battle. So I'm gonna go back into the Pikachu. I was thinking, well, I'm gonna weaken this potentially, do a lot of damage. On this set I had Thunder, which is demonic. It barely misses the kill, but it gets a Paralyze. I was like, oh my gosh, that's really lucky, and it gets fully paralyzed. Oh my gosh, I am so sorry for that hacks. I'm gonna go for the Volt Switch here, and I'm gonna take out the Dusknoir, but it was probably an offensive Dusknoir looking at it, and yeah, so the problem here was though that there was still the Palafin in the back, and the Palafin could easily like take out my Pikachu and my Kleavor. So here I was thinking, okay, well, I'm just gonna go out to my offensive Dusclops, anticipating this Pokemon to want to like maybe switch in versus me. It's gonna go for that Wave Crash, and that's so much damage versus me. Jeez, I'm not running any defenses whatsoever besides my Eviolite. So I'm gonna go for that Thunder Punch. That's okay damage. Now I'm gonna go for the Shadow Sneak, try to get my last bit of chip, and it ends up being Citrus Berry. So this Pokemon was really, really scary because my last line of defense was my Slacking. Now, interesting about this Pokemon is that it has base 100 speed, and Slacking also has base 100 speed. So if they were max speed Jolly, or if they were max speed Jolly, they would speed time me. And now they're gonna Terrasilize. So I was like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen here? They're gonna go for the Terra Fighting. I was like, oh no, if this Terra Fighting sees close combats me, it's over. But I end up winning the speed tie, and I get the choice band double edge off, and I'm gonna destroy that Palafin. Oh my gosh, that ended up being such a crucial turn. That was the game deciding turn, because if they outsped me, like, they won, because Palafin could easily take out Cleavor with a Jet Punch, and even Pikachu with the Jet Punch. But since I outsped it, I was like, okay, I'm basically good. Now, I had this Pikachu, I was gonna sack to this Medicham, but they ended up going for the acupressure. What the hell happened to my voice there? Oh my gosh. So the Medicham is gonna go for the Endure. I actually have Alluring Voice on this. I also had Terra Fairy. So that is going to bring it down to 1 health, but it doesn't have a Slack Berry. So I was thinking, okay, some kind of reversal set, but I'm going to take it out with the Alluring Voice, and that's going to be the end of both battles. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you enjoy Pokemon theme teams, feel free to subscribe and feel free to check out my playlist as well. My name is SkyLaaa. Don't forget to smile, and I will see you all next time.